My name is Tolulope. I'm an event planner. I'm from Ocean State, Ibadan to be precise, the only girl in a family of 3. I knew from my 3rd year in school I wasn't going to work for anyone. It was so strong, but I didn't know what it was. Growing up and seeing my mom and my dad run 9 to 5 jobs, I already knew this is not the circle I want to be. I had a broad mindset. I knew it was going to be something that had to do with people and making things better for people. And I read linguistics from University of Ibadan. And at some point, because I had friends from Communication and Language Arts department in my faculty, I used to feel like if I had known about this particular department, I would have wanted to be in this department where I could do something in marketing, branding, public relations. But I knew it was not too late to start over again. But in my final year, I was privileged to help someone manage a wedding. Not because I was an event planner at that time, but because in school, the positions that I've had prior to that time had actually put me in the place of planning things. So she just felt if you had done this for school events, you could do this for me. At that event, I was just doing my thing, and then someone approached me and said, "Are you the event planner?" I won't even deny it. I didn't know what that meant. I just said yes, and then I moved on. Then I now remembered I had a card from a friend that had been an event planner. So I went to pick the card, studied the card, and I started my research. Okay, so what exactly does it mean to be an event planner? I read about the event planning industry in Nigeria. I read about the major event planners in Nigeria. Then Tresben from Port Harcourt and Fuke Bucknell in Lagos. So I started following them. I started reading about them. And then I felt, okay, if they are doing this, I can do this. So 2 months to service year, I was determined I needed to really start whatever I wanted to start before leaving for service year. I needed to do something that would not make anybody convince me to take up a job when I come back. So I just sat down. It was the end of the year. I prayed. I told God I needed a direction on what I really want to do and if it is His will. So it was really a funny day because all I was just saying, even in my subconsciousness, while praying, was my laptop and my modem. And then I had to ask myself, at least, I'm sure God is not telling me to be a young girl. So what exactly is He saying? Then the word research dropped in my spirit. And then I had to really spend the whole day. It was like a retreat for me, December 28, 2012. And then I really read so much. The interest got so built up, like I've been planning for this all my life. And I knew this was it. And then what you could really have on Facebook then was just the close group. So I was in the room, and then Android phones were not really part of us then. It was BlackBerry and all, and then I didn't even have one then. So I was used to browsing by my system. So right from my room, I was adding everybody in my family to the group I created. And then I had not even read anything about names for business then. But I just thought about it, there has to be something unique. I knew a little about CAC and how difficult it could be to get a name. And then I had a pet name my brother gave me, that's Babylayo. And I felt, because I know there won't be another Babylayo because of the circumstance of the name. So, and I knew that I wanted everything about the business I want to do to be elegant. So I checked for elegant and I said Babylayo elegant. Does it make sense? Then I asked myself, what exactly do I want people to know me for in this business? And I was able to just put the fact that a touch, like when they see what I do, they'll be like, Babylayo was here. So I had to look for the synonyms for elegance. And then I saw exquisite, so it just came. Babylayo's exquisite touch, and that was it. I didn't even consult, I didn't ask anybody, I just had a piece in my mind, and then that was it. And then my father just called me out of the room. What creating, in Yoruba, that was just what he had to say. And I'm like, I'm starting a business. And then they're like, what do you know about business? And don't worry. And that was it. I started adding everybody from my personal page, and I called my printer from school days that I needed a card. And then he was asking me for a lot of things. Where's your address? Where's your business? I said, don't worry. All I just need to put on that card is my business name, the things I want to do, my phone number, my email address, and the Facebook ID. And then I had to save up for that. So I could remember that the cards came to me at the park while I was leaving for service here. So there was a proud feeling that came with having to achieve something. Even if I had not had my first job, before I had a complimentary card. So I gave it to my mother at the park. I gave it to people at the park like I was giving out like a souvenir with so much joy. So getting to service here, it was like I went there with this. I am not like the regular core member. I was going to a territory I wasn't used to Port Harcourt. So I started introducing myself to everybody like, yeah, I'm from Ibadan, I'm an event planner. I plan events, I do this, and it started building the confidence. So when I tell my story, I tell people it didn't start with a reservation. It didn't start with it was not possible. It started with joy. It started with if I could think of this, and then it was like you giving birth to a baby. I'm not sure you would want to think of would the baby grow? Would the baby survive? The joy of having a baby was it for me. And I went so shoulder high to service share with that, and then it opened doors. Because it made people feel comfortable to discuss ideas with me. Like, okay, and that is why today it's so very easy for me to sit down with any fresh starter, like any fresh entrepreneur, to say, see no limitation. Because that was it for me. I got to service here like advising people like I had been in business for 10 years. That was the way it felt. I was leaving Port Harcourt to Ibadan for jobs that 1 year, that first year, because it was so easy for me to even pick my money to make events run for people, because I wanted pictures. I wanted to trust. So and then I read before, and that is why I also tell people, don't just jump on an industry, do your research. It will take time. It will really take time. Because for me, I already read that I didn't need an office to start up. I already read that I needed family and friends, and I didn't need to look like I was begging. I wanted to offer you, I'm planning to offer you a service. That's the idea. So because I'm just starting, if you're supposed to pay me 10 naira, I could do it for you at 5 naira for me to earn trust. So the next person that is coming to me through you is naturally paying the 10 naira. And I needed to start a team. I had to look for friends. I had to look for people that really saw that part of me wanting to make things work. So instead of paying them 10 naira, I'm probably also be paying them 2 naira, 3 naira, because they all see the process. Then the trust process was just so obvious from day one. So everybody on my team knew how much the client was paying me. It wasn't a big deal. And they knew the sharing formula. So it was all open, because I was just so into making this business work. I didn't want anybody to feel like people told you to get an 8 to 5 job. So that was it for me, the passion just to make my parents happy. Everybody was part of the decision. But every person would have that. So how are you going to get the money? So I didn't want to leave that room for anybody at all. So I was working really hard. And then I really did not have a problem of getting people to believe in me, because of probably the confidence that came with starting. So I was privileged to work with a team that had Basketball Unleashed in Port Harcourt that year. Just because I created a BBM channel or group then, that I was doing Amber business that December. So a friend added the guy, and then he just felt like he saw my display name, that I was an event planner, and then he chatted me up if I could help them. So for me, I started understanding the importance of networking very early. So even if I didn't get Amber business from that group, at least I got that deal. It was all I just needed to do was to call members in the lounge, in the lodge I was staying, and then we put resources together. We created a uniform, and then we had basketball show. Then I actually got my first experience to the business, the entertainment business. And I felt like, okay, when I get back to Ibadan, I will make my people in Ibadan understand that this is how you do entertainment business. So I could do the event planning for socials, and I could do the entertainment part. And that was my first major business, because I was in Port Harcourt. So I just needed to ask people around, so how much do you charge for this, how much do you charge for that? And a few weeks to that time, I attended a seminar by Tresben where we had Funke Bucknell, we had Maya Talfo, we had a lot of people that made me feel like just start small, but don't lose something, your brand and integrity. So I was able to just deliver, I was well paid, and then I came back to Ibadan. Passing out was that week. At that particular event, I had a couple that said if I was interested in staying in Port Harcourt, they were going to give me their voice quarter. That business in Port Harcourt would be better than Ibadan. But because I had this home girl spirit before leaving Ibadan is home. And it didn't agree with my spirit. I had a vision for Ibadan. I had a record to break. At that time, event planning was not so common within Ibadan. So I knew it was a virgin land. So I didn't allow the juicy offer from a stranger land to get into my head because I knew I had a plan. It wasn't a structured business plan, but it was, it was good enough to set my feet like, this is where you're going to. And then I told them I was so glad for the offer, but I'll be open. If they have any other offer from me for a job, I can always come back to Port Harcourt, but I did not plan. I don't have that direction to stay in Port Harcourt. So I left the morning after POP. So I came back to Ibadan. But because I had been talking to senior friends that were already doing either makeup or fashion in Ibadan, that I'm coming back to Ibadan big go, doing event planning big time. I'm not going to add anything to it. It's just event planning. And a lot of people have been advising me, you can't work, you can't go like that. You have to be doing event planning and something else. But I had read somewhere that you have to stick your neck out for it. You're either an event planner or a vendor. By the time you begin to mix these things together, you're not going to be efficient in one. So I came back to Ibadan. That friend I spoke to, the makeup artist I spoke to, already secured a space for me. What she just said told me was how much you have. She was ready to borrow me money, but eventually when I saw what the office rent was, it was half of my savings at that time, so I was so eager to just get the office space and then move. So I got there, did a little fitting, got my parents to commit to it. I even did a grand opening party. I brought people, and then it looks stupid to people that I did that grand opening. But I had a friend in the media at that time that was working with a branding outfit. So she brought in several bloggers. So she just came, she had pictures, she had the press list, and then people from Ghana, Kenya, a lot of places just had to put up the story. So, and then she was one that introduced me to Google Plus, how to put my story on Google Plus. So when people are searching, she taught me how to write for people to search. So like to write about, so that time I started the blog, though I've not really been so forthcoming with it these days because of work schedule. And then I was writing what people really wanted to sell. So then I was writing on how to choose a vendor, how to choose an event place in Ibadan, just so that people can search. And so that was like how I was able to break off the stress of the social media hype. So it was also an easy terrain because I had someone that I could probably say was like a mentor in that line at that time. And maybe because I was not jack of all trade, it was easy to break into the industry in Ibadan because we didn't really have so much competition. And then it was really the easy girl going thing. I knew my standards, I knew the things I wasn't going to do. I already saw what the pains were for people in Lagos. When you probably have to get an event planner and you're paying through your... So people in Ibadan started with the notion that you have to really have been so boxed up, like you must have been planning for your wedding for like forever for you to hire an event planner, because they felt were an extra cost to them. So I had to come with that mindset that I am taking your stress off you and I'm saving you money. So I know I have the bargaining strength. You have the needs. So let me help you bargain. Save you money. So what you should spend like 2,000 naira, I can get you 500 discount, and then you have 1,500 to pay. So by the time you put that together, the little money you are paying me, you still have something to save at the end of it. And then I knew that a lot of people have a problem with vendors. I mean, event planner is not straightforward. So a vendor is billing them 2 naira, and then the event planner has a naira, and then he's charging you 3 naira. So eventually, that is a ripple effect of extra expenses. So I actually created a transparent system. So I get you the vendor, I get you the quote. Then I introduce you to the vendor, to talk to the vendor yourself. So you know if you can still get more, you know, the client appeal, where the vendor also does not want to lose a client. So I was able to create the transparent process. So I had people trust me. Then they saw, you know, it's a process. If I had like a 5 million naira estimated bill and I come on board officially and then we're able to spend 4.5, 4.6, 4.2, you know, you make them see the process, you make them see the hard work, and then, you know, you take them through the process of your stress that you're taking off them. So you have to probably communicate. Hi, good morning. I just want you to know that I caught this person, I caught that person, and then this is sorted. Oh really, you've done that? So they know the worth of an event planner. And then they see what you're doing. And then they compare with others, people's experiences. People will tell you their event planner did not show up. But their event planner did not pay vendors. The event planner is owing vendors, so vendors did not come. So over time, for me, it's been hard work. It's a place of the passion. For a woman, at least a young lady when I started, then a lady with a level of commitment in a relationship that is heading towards marriage, you begin to try to cut, and that is why we need to say thank you to technology. So now with an application, I can probably put my team on board to say, this is our floor plan, this is what I've done, this is what is left. I have the names of all the vendors in it, this is the contact of all the vendors. So if you are moving with technology, you are reducing the stress. So at some point, yeah, when marriage is in and then you are not getting that time, you just need to bring in more staff. That means you are running more cost. So earlier in the year, we had to bring in a permanent staff. So it's been casual workers, it's been commission all the while. But now reality is setting in that you cannot be everything for everybody. So I had to bring in a staff. And then with that permanent staff, you have a salary structure to pay. And you still have to pay, you know, the usual commission. So you have to give out something to get to a particular point. And I think that's what most people don't want to do. They want to make the money and then just keep it in. That is where the stress is. So I can be off work a whole week and I'll be confident that my office is running. So when I get to that point where I'm fagged out, there's that point where you feel like going back. I was there last year. I was there mid-year, where you feel so overwhelmed and you're like, okay, I think there should be something else you can do. I can't continue this way. Most times when you have clients that are just unnecessarily demanding, when you just feel like this job should get me this point, and then they come with extra luggage. So you had a bargain, and then the extra luggage is just coming like, we thought you're supposed to do this, we thought, and then you're taking them back to the contract, and then they are telling you, but my friend is paying someone else, and then they are doing this, that. Okay, what about the things your friend is not getting that we are given? And you still have to be so nice and so calm. Then the situation where you are beginning to think you have a free month, and all of a sudden somebody is coming in and then, you know, in Nigeria you cannot really have a wedding, for example, where you don't have family coming in. So when you think you were dealing with the bride and the groom as at a month to the wedding, and 2 weeks to the wedding, you are dealing with your family. So you're adding to your stress level, and then you begin to and probably you're not the one that got all the vendors. And they tell you not to worry, that they got the best vendor for this, they got the best vendor. Okay, let's talk to this vendor, don't worry. And then you get the vendors meeting, and you're listening to things the vendor is saying, and you're like, I thought you said this vendor, and the overall look is yours. So nobody knows the distinction between a coordinator and a planner these days. And you have your brand to protect. So you work more than you plan to work. So naturally, if you see us during the event, they are working the whole length of the hall, like maybe 100 times in 6 hours. So you get back home, you have to probably be a daughter to a family, or you have to be a wife to a man. So then by the time you see it, if you have that every weekend in 1 month, probably the next month you're already looking all stressed or used. So at that point, you probably ask yourself, is there nothing else one can do in this industry and you can just sit down and this money can come in? So probably, I like the fact that I got to those moments. That was why it was easy for me to diversify at some point. I have 1 or 2 other businesses that I can do now, and I can say, okay, if this particular job is stressing me, this one is bringing in the money. So for me, it's just been, I don't like to sound religious, but there's no business without a God factor. You need to know when God is saying stop, God is saying move. It's not a job I take. There are some jobs when I don't get the satisfaction of continuing, I just discontinue. And we say it, but I can affirm it to you. Those jobs that pay you less stress you more. That's the basic truth. So once you don't have, I tell people, I'd rather sit in my house to watch a movie than do a job that will frustrate my whole team. So I tell people boldly, you don't have to do all jobs. You have to learn to say no. So when I started, it was difficult, but now it's so easy to tell the world that this is what we charge, this is what is comfortable. If you want this value, this is the cost. If you cannot pay it, we are sorry. I have several advantages around this change of status, but you can't be too sure of anything. So I'm getting married to someone I've been dating for 8 years. We've been friends for 9 years. So he saw the whole process from leaving school to starting a business, growing a business. So maybe at some point, my biggest fear is having to have sown a seed in the city. Probably marriage was going to take me off the city. But that is over. I know I'm staying here. And then after the introduction for me, I had to do a reality check. If you know what we do well, you might be gone a whole weekend. You might have to travel like a whole week, depending on your location. Then we keep late nights. So these are things that are very obvious to the man. And then the late night part is what it cannot handle. So we had to look for the process, and initially in our business plan, a permanent staff is actually supposed to come in next year. But I had to see that part of when you are not there, people need to trust someone. So if a year before the settling down, people have identified your personal assistant, they come to your office, they don't meet you, they meet someone that handles their briefs. Then when you're not there, like maybe a particular weekend you have a family function, you cannot. For my own family, if I have a family function, if I'm not going, because my parents are there, they will say, Tolu is not here because she's working. But now you're getting married into a family that maybe as a wife, maybe they have a family function, you have to be there. And then you have a job. Probably you got the job before the family function. Family has to come first. Come to a point where I'm beginning to introduce, even in my contract, so you get a planner and then you get a coordinator. So you're no longer making yourself the face of the business. So I'm building a structure so much that without you on ground. So the paperwork is like where you start from for an event. So when you do the planning well, and you cannot be there on the day of coordination, if you have done a good job, you won't have a problem. So if I've been able to make people feel good from the planning point, I really don't think I should have a problem making them trust my team. Because the real deal is, we're just so used to show off. If you do your work well, whether you're there or you're not there, your team is supposed to execute. I've had a situation, and then I think I had a turnaround in the business last year. 1 year I was in and out of the hospital for 6 months straight. And one of such months where I was really down, we had 3 jobs back to back. And I remember in one of the jobs, I had to sleep in the hall with the decorating team, and I was on drip till morning. So I left the hospital with the bag of drip, and then I was on it all through the night, so that I could have the strength to handle the day. So later that day, I just felt like, okay, so let's say, God forbid, I lost my life yesterday. The person that was going to get married was still going to get married. So fine, I was at the event to make everybody feel good. But after the event, I was too weak to even get ready for the next event, and I was still at that next event. But I saw the power of a team. Everybody was ready to work themselves out just to be sure I don't stress myself. So I felt, why not invest in this team? Why not bring these people on board as a team? Why not put them on a payroll? Why not train them? Why not expose them to trainings you get too? So I said, Babu, you just need that turnaround to just get you back on track. So that for me that day, that period was a turnaround. So there was an incident before the real reality of. So I had actually put plans in place for now, for the new me, for the new expectations of the world. So I just think that we hope to stabilize them. I know it will come with the challenges, but I think I'm building a team that will be ready for the challenges, and it might really mean that we'll probably get to choose the jobs we take at least the first 6-7 months. And it's funny, I'm having an event a weekend to my wedding, but I'm having 2 events weekend to my wedding, and then I'm having an event the weekend after my wedding, which most people are scared. Oh yeah, you're not supposed to be on honeymoon, and you don't. And for me, I feel like, okay, that can wait. And that is where the understanding of your partner comes in. So it takes me back to the God factor. If you got the man of your dream through God, you have a business you're doing through God, you will be sustained through God. So it took the man to say, I think you would have to take honeymoon off your list if you are going to do these briefs. So, and that was it for me. So I just want to encourage anybody out there that even with God, we are not trained to be lazy. When you work hard, when you are truthful to yourself, that what you are doing, you really know about it. Because that's another way to start. Don't just jump on any business because you think somebody is making money. They might be making money from elsewhere. So if you see me ride a car next year, it might not, for example, be as a result of event planning, because I have other means of income. So don't say because Tolu is making money, she looks like she's living large, I want to start event management. You don't know the other. Most people don't even know the number of hours I sleep. So don't think it is cool from the outside. It is dirty in the inside. So don't be too forward with starting a business. People should learn to research. Let it not be about money. Let it be about value. There's the place of the money, but offer value first. So when you have that, and I think every lady, I'm going to talk to every young lady out there now, right now. Nobody was created to fend for you. Nobody was created to make life better for you. We're all created to make life better for ourselves. So let any other extra source be an advantage. Let it not be that we have this entitlement right to anything. Work for your influence, work for your network, work for your money, work for virtually everything, work for your home. Because you just have to keep working, and then even the work of faith, you have to work for it. It's not easy. It's not easy to have a spiritual life as an entrepreneur. Because when you wake up in the morning and you pick your phone, you might be doing your quiet time in your car if you're not careful. So everything is about balance at some point. So you see yourself working 10 to 6 days. You have not even remembered to really pray. So it's all about work. That's just the word for me. I think you must just be ready to invest time. And everything is not money. There are businesses that have started with less than 10,000 naira, and they are worth millions now. So let's not even deceive ourselves and be saying I'm looking for capital. Maybe I tell people what I preach now is look for something that you will start without capital. So the other two businesses I floated a business 2 years ago, which is like a subset of event planning for children parties. Just because I had an opportunity to apply for a grant and I knew nobody was going to give me money for being an event planner. What would they give me money for? So I had to pick something. It was children party, and then I got a grant. And then they bought all the facilities I needed. So on the side, I rent out those facilities. On the side, I plan with those facilities and people pay for it. Now there's something that I feel like nobody is doing in Ibadan. And people pay so much money in Lagos for. And then very soon you will get to know about it. But I had to just register an entirely new business just to do that. So let's fill the gap. Let's stop people from bringing people from Lagos to do this part. And I will also naturally get in more people. So the more opportunities I have, the more people I pay, the more lives I'm blessing. So for me, just start. So now I started with something that didn't really need so much money. Now I'm beginning to diversify into things that need a capital base. So just start small. Rome was not built in a day. When they gave birth to me, I don't think there was a Dangote. Now I'll be giving birth to my own children and there's a Dangote. Chicken. So just don't allow people to put this, oh, you must have. I read somewhere that if you are not earning close to 10 million in a month, or I can't remember what the figure is, you are not a small business, you're a micro business. Okay, so I'm proud to be a micro business. Fine. Someday I'll get there. So people should just take it one step at a time, and then before you know it's slow and steady, you win the race, you're up there, and the rest is history.